Hello, 7th graders. This is Miss White, and today we're doing lesson 20, estimating a population proportion. So in previous lessons, each student in your class has selected random samples from a population and calculated the size of the sample proportion. And it was observed that there was sampling variability in the sample proportions, and as the sample size increased, the variability decreased. So in this lesson, we are going to investigate how sample proportions can be used to estimate population proportions. Okay, example 1. A class of 37th graders wanted to estimate the proportion of middle school students who were vegetarians. Each 7th grader took a random sample of 20 middle schooler students were asked the question, "Are you a vegetarian?" One sample of 20 students had 3 students who said they were vegetarians. And for this sample, the sample proportion is 3 out of 20, or in decimal form, 1500ths. The following are the proportions of vegetarians the 7th graders found in 30 samples. Each sample size was for 20 students. The proportions are rounded to the nearest hundredth. Let's go ahead and take this scenario from example 1 and move on to the next page to example 3. All right. Assume you were part of the 7th grade class and you got a sample proportion of 2/10 from a random sample of middle school students. Based on the sample proportion, what is your estimate for the proportion of all middle school students who are vegetarians? Now we know that our estimate, or your estimate, is 20/10, and we can also say that as 20/100ths. Now we want to construct a dot plot to do the 30 sample of proportions. So we are going to have it from 0 to 3/10 or 30/100ths. Okay, and this is going to be our proportion of vegetarians. Now, based on the sample proportions from example 1, we are going to dot plot them here. And if you don't want to flip back and forth, that's fine. You can just go ahead and follow my example of how many dots I am putting on this dot plot. Now that we have all this data and we've plotted it in our dot plot, exercise 6 is going to ask us, using the 30 class results listed on the previous page and above, what is your estimate for the proportion of all middle school students who are vegetarians? Explain how you made this estimate. I want you to take as much time as you need to really consider the sample proportions. I estimated that the proportion of all middle school students who were vegetarians is going to be 1500ths because my dot plot here is a little asymmetrical, and so when we go out to the sides, our portions are not very big. They're very condensed towards the middle, and my 3 biggest values I see are from 10/100ths to 20/100ths, and 1500ths is in the middle. So we can even say about 1500ths. and that the sample proportion cluster is from 10 hundredths to 20 hundredths. Now, calculate the mean of 30 sample proportions. How close is this value to the estimate you made in exercise 6? We can look at our dot plot above and set up an equation. So I see that for our 0, we have 1. So we can say 0 times 1. And now we can move on to the next one. Now we're going to have plus 3 times 5 hundredths, because in our 5 hundredths place we have 3 dots. Our next one is that we have 8 times 10 hundredths, and then we have 7 times 15 hundredths, and 5 times 20 hundredths. It looks like I might run out a little bit of room. I hope that you don't. Then we're going to have plus 4 times 25 hundredths, and then plus 5 times 30 hundredths. So we're going to have all of this over 30 because that's how many dot plots we had in total. Go ahead and use your calculator to find the numerator, and then take the numerator and divide it by 30. Alright, now that the calculation is possibly done, I'm going to put my work down here. I hope you have more room than I do, but I have 4 6/10 over 30. When I put this into decimal form by using my calculator, I'm going to type in 4.6 divided by 30, and that's approximately going to give me 153,000. Alright, 7th grade, that is the end of our video. I will see you in class.